Hello, and welcome to the Daily Try, the daily podcast that supports you on your fertility journey. My name's Lara, and today I want to talk to you about the trying to get pregnant project management role that you're probably doing. It's crazy. The amount of appointments and medication and tracking and research and logistics that comes with trying to get pregnant. People think, oh, you just have sex and boom. But unfortunately, it's not as easy as that, because if it was as easy as that, then you wouldn't still be trying, obviously. And I feel like it is a second job, and I've talked about this before, but it's like an invisible job that never clocks off. There's lots of appointments and medications and dates and results to chase, then questions to research, supplements to buy, messages to send, work schedules to potentially rearrange for doctor's appointments. And somehow ordinary life has to continue all around this. So it's no wonder you might feel like, I am so tired and so done before the day's even started, just thinking about all of this. And it's not just about the physical side of trying, it's also about the mental side. It's carrying this huge amount of information and decision making and emotional anticipation in your head all the time. And even if you have a partner, it doesn't make it necessarily any easier, because they're not going to the appointments most of the time. They're not the ones taking the pills. They're not the ones doing an ovulation test. They're not the ones doing the pregnancy test. They may be in the room for some of that, but they're not actually having to remember to do it. You're like, oh, now we're going to do this. And they're like, okay. So it's quite different, I think, if you're the person doing it rather than if you're the person helping the person that's doing it. So it does make sense, I think, that you feel tired, and you're not disorganized or overreacting or being over the top. It's just, you've just got a lot on. And I remember when I was going through my IVF, I was taking all these pills, doing vaginal pessaries. There was so much that I had to remember to do. I felt like I was checking my watch every 5 minutes, alarms going off on my phone left, right, and center. And you have to be organized, and you have to make sure that you're on top of this. So a few things that I found helped me when I was doing this was alarms on my phone. And I really had them set up to go off every time I need to do something, which then kind of reduced the mental load a bit, in that I didn't have to remember to take that pill at 2:00. The alarm told me. So I would normally each morning set up my alarms so that it was done. And then I would make sure that I had enough medication, because that was always the other thing. If I was doing because I was doing medication, if you're not, it's probably supplements for both, whether you're IVF or trying to conceive naturally, is supplements that so then it's just keeping an eye on, looking at when you get towards the bottom of the packet or the bottle, making sure that you ordered some more, and trying to make things as streamlined as possible in terms of those things you can control, like the medication, like the ovulation testing, like the pregnancy testing, all of that stuff, taking your temperature, taking your supplements. And even if it's like ovulation test, maybe you have an alarm go off each morning to take that, so that you remember to do it. The same with your temperature. And just do things to try and make it so that you don't have to physically remember it. Because I think that's the really hard part of this, is the physically trying to remember it. And I know that that's the draining part as well. And then the worry that you've forgotten to do something. And I remember when I did my egg harvesting, they phone you like when they want you to take the trigger shot before to get the eggs to get them ready for the harvesting the next day. And they phoned me and they said, do it in an hour. I said, okay, great. And I completely forgot. I can't believe it. I look back and go, what was I thinking? I completely forgot. I thought I remember it. And it was 2 hours before I remembered that I hadn't done it. And in a massive panic, I did it. But I just think now, looking back, if I had just gone an hour, okay, set an alarm on my phone, done. would have just made life so much easier for me and less panicky. And I think that's the other thing. It's the holding, it's remembering all the things and panicking and worrying about it. So today, let's, instead of trying to remember everything in your head, which if you're anything like me is nigh on impossible, trying to find ways to make your life easier so that this doesn't feel like it is a second job. So things like alarms on your phone, things like putting things in your calendar. So I often put events in my calendar, like go to the pharmacy and get X, when I know that I need to do that. So I don't have to remember that I've got to do that day, and it will come up as an event in my calendar. It might be that you get, instead of ordering like ovulation tests every time you run out, maybe you get them on subscription, so you don't have to remember to have them in stock. Or maybe it's the same with the supplements, get them on a subscription so you don't have to remember to keep reordering them. Just try and do these little things that will help you not feel so overwhelmed, because there's enough things to worry about when you're going through this. You don't also want to worry about, did I take that thing at that time? Did I do that injection? Or whatever it might be. So I think today is all about getting yourself organized right from the start and letting technology do some of the mental load rather than you having to remember it all, because I personally found that was really helpful for me. My nephew and niece did laugh at me a lot about the fact my alarm was going off every 5 seconds. Well, that's what it felt like. But who cares? If it makes your life easier, that's all that matters. So hopefully today that helps you becoming a bit more organized, a bit more, just a way to take that mental load out of your brain and put it on something else that will reliably remind you to do things. So have a wonderful day. Here is a massive hug, and I look forward to chatting to you again tomorrow.